The first time I noticed it, it wasn't a fight. It was the way his eyes stayed on the sink while I was talking, like my words were steam, like they rose and disappeared.
Some endings don't announce themselves. They arrive as a small change in attention, and then the relationship spends months pretending it didn't feel it.
In the beginning, he listened in this very specific way, like he put his whole face into it. Not dramatic, just like he made room. We met during late stitched-together nights, quiet streets, a tiny apartment with a honey-colored lamp, fogged windows, and a mug he stirred slowly for me, and it shouldn't have meant anything, but it did. We spoke in little questions. Did you sleep? Did you eat? What song is stuck in your head? And he remembered things I didn't know I'd said, like moving me across the sidewalk weeks later because I hated the sound of gum. I remember thinking this is what it's like to be noticed without asking. One night I sat on his couch with my shoes still on while he talked about a job he wanted but didn't think he deserved. And when he said he felt stupid saying it out loud, I told him to say it quieter, and he laughed and rested his head against my knee. And that was the beginning for me, the moment it felt safe to be unimpressive. We built a life out of small rituals, grocery lists, just-in-case chocolate, Sunday mornings trading warmth, and whenever I spoke his head tilted, his mouth parted, like my words had somewhere to land. The shift didn't come as cruelty, it came as absence, phones, scrolling, right noises with wrong timing, and one night while pasta boiled over I said I didn't think I was doing okay, and he said I'd be fine without looking up, and I felt embarrassed for offering something fragile when he had no free hand. After that I started editing myself, choosing smaller endings, swallowing details, and though he was still there, still kissing me goodbye, he wasn't fully arriving. And I started wondering if I was asking for too much or just asking the wrong person at the wrong time.
Early love can feel like being studied in a way that isn't invasive, just attentive, not obsession, not intensity, just a quiet curiosity that says, I'm here, I'm catching what you drop. What people call chemistry is often something quieter, responsiveness, that simple human experience of speaking and feeling the other person receive it. A lot of people don't stop loving, they stop having the capacity to listen, because listening requires presence, and presence requires space inside you.
In the car one night, I asked if I could talk without him solving it, watched his jaw clench, watched his phone light up, kept talking anyway, and when I finished he said he got it and asked what we should watch, like my confession was a commercial break. Later in bed, with the TV's cold glow, his arm around me, I realized I couldn't remember the last time he asked me something that didn't have an easy answer, and it wasn't heartbreak yet, just the feeling of speaking and watching your words hit the floor. Days later, I brought his favorite takeout, sat close, tried something small, offered him a door, and when I finally asked if we didn't talk anymore, he said he was tired, and I said okay, and the conversation died.
This is one of the most confusing kinds of pain. When the other person doesn't reject you, they simply stop receiving you. When someone says, I'm tired, it's rarely a lie. It's just sometimes a complete explanation that leaves nothing for the other person to hold on to, because tired can mean work, or stress, or responsibility, or something quieter, the slow loss of curiosity. There's a kind of closeness that becomes routine. Not cold, not cruel, just efficient. Two people learning each other's shapes, sharing space without friction, trading discovery for familiarity, still functioning, still looking like love from the outside, while inside something stops moving, and when intimacy stops moving it doesn't always break, sometimes it just goes quiet. That line, I'm right here, is one of the most honest misunderstandings people have.
When I asked to sit without the TV, I realized if I stayed quiet long enough he wouldn't notice, that my voice had become background, and I understood he wasn't listening for me anymore. He was listening for life to be easy again. I started watching us like a room I might move out of, saving my real thoughts for the shower, standing behind him while he worked and saying I missed him, hearing him say he was right here, and shrinking into the easiest version of myself. The last clear night, I asked him to look at me, told him I didn't feel hurt anymore, watched him insist he did hear me, felt him pull me close and say he loved me, and realized sometimes love stays, but attention leaves first. We unraveled politely, and the last message I saved was ordinary: text me when you get home. I'm home. Sleep well, and I lay in the dark wishing he'd ask just one unnecessary question. Something that proved he could still hear the part of me that didn't know how to ask, but the phone stayed quiet, and the quiet felt final without anyone saying it was.
Because one person means emotional distance and the other answers physical presence, and no one is lying, they're just speaking different languages in the same room. There's no villain in that, just two people with different needs for connection and different capacities for presence, where someone can love deeply and still meet shallowly, not out of cruelty but because they never learned how to stay emotionally awake when life gets heavy, while the other person starts translating their heart into shorter sentences, offering less so rejection hurts less. And from the outside nothing bad is happening. It's just the sound slowly fading out.